a series of free online events. To kick things off, there will be a virtual arts festival later this afternoon, which will be streamed on Oxfam Philippines' Facebook page. For more on the events to come, we are joined by Jeanette Dulawan. She's the Gender Justice Program Manager of Oxfam Philippines. Good morning, Jeanette.
Good morning, Nikki. Good morning, everyone.
Okay, so first off, tell us a bit more about your humanitarian and development organization, Oxfam Pilipinas, and the lineup of the activities that you have planned for Women's Month. It's March na eh.
Yeah, we have prepared an exciting lineup of online activities for the public in celebration of Women's Month in March. And as part of the month-long Her Now, Her Future campaign, that's our hashtag for the International Women's Day celebration 2022. Our organization advocates gender equality, and we'll be kicking off this month with an arts festival featuring various performers today at 5 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Oh, so that's today, no? And you also partnered with the Philippine Educational Theater Association, or PETA, to hold a virtual play, right, titled Babae Ang Bukas, featuring experiences of Filipinas during the COVID-19 pandemic. Could you tell us the story behind the conceptualization of this?
The stories are based on the lived realities of how COVID pandemic exacerbated the social, economic, gender, and inequalities that women experienced during the pandemic. But we want to focus on that despite of these challenges, for example, the disproportionate sharing of how unpaid care work, unemployment, limited access to services such as sexual and reproductive health services, and of course, the increasing incidences of gender-based violence as exacerbated by lockdowns and limited mobilities. We also want to focus on how women have stood up and have fought hard, and that's the focus of the play. And through these stories, we hope to inspire all people, of course, to effect change and build a future with dignity, compassion, and fairness.
And when will this play be shown? When and where?
Yes, this will be shown online on March 15. We will be premiering Hindi sa Isang Sulok Lang, a 30-minute video documentary featuring the real-life travails and triumphs of 5 women from Maguindanao and Eastern Samar as they become advocates of women empowerment and gender equality. And we will also be holding theater arts workshop for selected youth and women's organizations in Eastern Visayas and Mindanao campaigning against child marriage and gender-based violence.
And then going back to the kicking off of the festivities for the Women's Month, you start with Babae Ang Simula, Babae Ang Bukas. This is an art festival, right? Today ba? Could you tell us more details about this? What do we see there?
Okay, so we will be looking at, of course, opening performance of artists, as well as looking at and focusing on the ignored pandemic. So basically focusing on gender-based violence, how this was exacerbated, and at the same time, the limited access of women to sexual reproductive health services and facilities. And we're also looking at how women how women also balance their career at the same time, dealing with the work from home schemes. And then also we're looking at women frontliners who were in the front lines of communities and hospitals, especially during the lockdowns and limited mobilities. And we're looking at also extraordinary women who rose during this pandemic, and of course, even before pandemic. So we'll be hearing from Patricia Non, Attorney Liza Masud Alamia, a minority leader from the Barm Parliament, among many others.
And speaking of gender-based inequality, which particular sectors of women are most in need, and what can we do to help?
Based on our rapid gender assessment for COVID that we did in 2020, most of those women who experience gender-based violence, unemployment, limited access to the services and facilities that I have been mentioning. These are mostly solo parents, women living in poverty from rural and urban communities, and also including women in internally displaced persons, those living in evacuation centers in BARM.
And how important is it that women of today be empowered, and what exactly does it mean to be empowered?
Of course, it's very important because at the end of the day, women are also part of the population. In fact, they compose of almost half of the population, and it's very important that we also empower them, because empowering women also means empowering households, empowering communities, and having empowered communities also is a big contributory factor to, of course, national development and nation building.
And lastly, for those who want to attend your activities and maybe even be part of the organization Oxfam, how can we reach you? Any other initiatives that we can join or participate in?
Of course, as I've mentioned, we will have the March 15, the premiering the Hindi sa Isang Sulok Lang, a 30-minute video documentary. And of course, the main event also on March 8, where we will be featuring a theater play, which on Babae Ang Bukas virtual play.
All right.
We, of course, showcase the experiences of Filipinas during the COVID-19 pandemic.
All right. Excited for all those. Mabuhay ang babae. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Jeanette.
Maraming salamat, Nikki.